Our fam, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great Tuesday. Yeah, just a kind of interesting day today. We'll talk a little bit about it here. Let's make this one quick. Um, so, had one trade today, and it was actually a after lunch trade, and I'm gonna kind of tell you why I kind of did that. All right, so all right, here we go. Let's look at what we have for range wise. 41.72 up to 41.93. So, it's at 21 points. So, nice range. Normal 16 to 20 plus range is what we like to see. Gives us room to operate within the DR. Um, and also notice that we had a midnight open that was right actually on the DR low. So just expecting that to be a support or resistance for us. All right, so we'll talk about what happened with DR today. So setup for DR was that down up move, right, and then we started coming back down again right before 10:30. And so what that tells me is we don't have a true bias. At least I don't for direction today. Now the other part of that, and notice we had some pretty big fair value gaps today. So even before we got to a confirmation, we had this move down to the bottom of this fair value gap, and then that big move back up, which actually did get us to confirm right before 11. And now, so here's where it gets interesting because, and this is why I did not take a trade early. What I'm noticing here, what you notice here is we have a bullish fair value gap, right? Which means that price wants to go up. Now, so when we get up here and we confirm, we retrace. Now you could have taken a trade here, or you could have put the trade on IDR for it to go up. But you see that it did go about 4 points. So if you were scalping, you could have taken that trade. But what I'm looking for, I was waiting for, was price really to come back down into this fair value gap and then reverse off of that, right? That's what a fair value gap is for. And so when price is a little bit higher, anticipating it coming back down into that gap and then rejecting, right? Because we're trying to close that gap. So when that happens, let me get rid of all that, right? And so again, you could have taken a trade here, but again, you had to scalp it. If you're trying to wait for five or waiting for 5 or 10 points, you wouldn't have gotten that. You actually would have gotten stopped out on the move back down, right? So you could have taken 3 4 points off of that one. Now, the next thing that happens, is here we get a lot of movement into IDR and DR, right? So again, if we're looking for a price to go that way, because that's the way we confirmed. But you see, like it didn't, it moved up a little bit, came back down, moved up a little bit, and came back down. So it finally drops down into the fair value gap here. So yes, you could have taken a trade off the high of that fair value gap, or you could have waited. Now, if you waited till it got to IDR, you notice that again, you would have, not had a decent trade. Top of this fair value gap, about 41.87. Could have taken that up to, 41.92, 93, 94, 95, somewhere up in there. Or 93, I think is where it ended up. That's the top of that's where the DR is. So you can see that, and it's just a feeling, right? It's not a technical strategy. It's just, knowing, about fair value gaps and what price likes to do. Price likes to come back into the gaps and move away. So it did that once, came back down, did it again, then it comes back down, and if you transfer this all the way out, you can see it did it a few more times, and so it actually does it here again. Okay, so it's not a guarantee, but that's just the thing I like to look at and see kind of where those gaps are. And so I didn't take any of this movement here today. Um, I didn't, right? And so now the one I wish I would have taken would have been this one coming back up. But again, I could have taken, you could have taken any of these going back up. But to me, these are all scalp moves. And that's about a 5 point move. This one is about 5 points. But these are all scalp moves to me. And today wasn't really a scalping day for me. All right. Yesterday I could scalp. Today I really couldn't. Now, one thing I did notice, and right around lunch, around middle of lunchtime, about 12:30, we had my alert went off here. Now my alerts have been going off all morning up here, and this I would say I don't want to deal with it. But when my alert goes off here, at the 0.5 fib, which is below, right? That's below that fair value gap. So price comes down, orders on the zero point 0.5 fib, and then boom, there we go. Okay, so we're going from basically 82.50. I got about 10 points on this one. I got off, yeah, I got it because that 92.50 was right where that, basically right where the DR high was, and so that's a nice movement there. Interestingly enough, we had this drop here. I don't know what caused that drop at 12:30. I wasn't in it at this point. I had gotten out up here, so I'm good. So this drop, but then you can see it again. You know, it kind of had that drop, then it confirmed or continued higher. So if you'd gotten in here, right, and then you had your stop loss set at 5 points, so it would have been about down here. You notice what would have happened. You'd have got up, then you'd been sad for 5 minutes while price dropped, and you'd be like, oh, I'm back to zero. And then it would move back up again. You could have kept that going. So you can see it went, you know, gosh, by the time it was done, we went all the way up to 42.11, right? So that move honestly was from 41.82 to 42.11. So what's that, 40 points? 82, 92, 102, 30 points. All right, close. All right, 30 points. So again, not a, you know, not something that you if you're not following the rules, then you wouldn't have taken that trade again. Or if you were like me, got out at 10 points, which I was okay with. And this move would have scared a lot of people. Honestly, it would have scared me because like, oh man, I let all this profit, getting us 10 points at least, I let all that go away. But the markets were kind, and they just went back up and kept going. Okay, so anyway, so that's it. Now, even if you had missed that one, so that was my only trade for the day. But if you had missed that one, let's say you missed all this right here, like, you know, look what we have right here. We have a price coming down into below the DR high. Could have gotten in a trade there and then taken up, you know, taken it up that way. Here we also touched DR high. Not sure I would have taken that trade because it didn't go below. Remember, my rule is like to go below and then get picked up on the way back up, right? That's my goal. So this one would have been a tough one to take. But yes, but you know, again, some people are more adventurous, so that would have been something that you could have done. So opportunities were there, but it wasn't an easy day. It wasn't a clear-cut day. If you had gotten in over here, you know, you could have gotten again small profits here. You might have gotten stopped out, which sometimes, you know, get stopped out if you're, you know, if you're emotionally tied to this, you're gonna like, oh man, let me not trade anymore. All right. But again, it's kind of why we say we stick to our rules. And as we start to look at other strategies about how we can use them, right, that fair value gap is always one of my favorites because, again, I like to see price reject off of it before it moves up. And, you know, we had the opportunities today. So anyway, so, you know, again, not an easy, smooth day. But if you were patient and you waited for the right opportunity, you know, you can see kind of what happens if you do that. All right. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Hope everybody, again, had a great Tuesday. I think we have some news and things coming up tomorrow. So head on a swivel, as we say, see what happens and take what the market gives you. All right. So that's it. Love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again. So take advantage of each and every opportunity. And I will see you guys on the next one.